Welcome to the Bodhi Lotus radio show on 720 KDM, KDW in Las Vegas, Nevada. Sorry, I'm getting used to our new call letters here. The Bodhi Lotus show moving from the Tan Talk Wet Network in Florida. I'm here with the Yogi Zen Dude, and my beautiful wife Taisha is traveling in California, so she won't be with us live in the studio today, but she may be calling in a little bit. Boy, do we have a big show packed for you today. We have Marilyn Yamamoto from Cowboy Trails Farm. Greg?
Yes.
Boy, what an amazing woman she is, and what an amazing mission they have out there as a nonprofit feeding the homeless and delivering organic food. We have Bruce Perlowin, the CEO of Hemp Inc., the first all hemp publicly traded company that you can invest in, and they're local here to Las Vegas. And he's going to share with us a little bit about what his company is doing and what he's doing with his journey on this planet. 4,000 acres, about an hour outside of Las Vegas, which will become the home of an intentional community, Ken's Domains, and just an amazing project that we're going to hear about, as well as hemp.com, their website. We're also going to be talking to Mark Jackson. Do you remember the three amigos from the San Francisco 49ers back in the late 80s that were dominating, went to the Super Bowl? He's here in Las Vegas now, and he's going to be sharing with us a club that's gotten started here about making money. And I thought, wow, a lot of people that are trying to make a difference in the world seem to not feel that they're adequately funded. So if you're one of those people, you don't want to miss that show. So that's all coming up in this action-packed hour of the Bodhi Lotus Show. Don't forget, you can check out all the links and see more information on anything we talk about by going to our website. That's Bodhi, B-O-D-H-I, like the Bodhi tree. Lotus, L-O-T-U-S, like the lotus flower, bodhilotus.org. And you will meet people that are as cool as that name. And their names are a lot easier to pronounce and spell than Bodhi Lotus. So, hey, let's get to the news here, folks, this week. What interesting things and reports coming out. Pew Research did a report that said that 60% of the people, if they were given the chance to have a medical procedure that would allow them to live to be 120 years old, would not have it. As a matter of fact, more than 50% said that they wouldn't want to do anything to extend their life, and most people are pretty happy with the average life expectancy of 79 to 85. Greg, that kind of blew me away that people don't want to live longer.
Me too. It kind of makes you stop and think, and maybe you want to call in with your ideas about why people wouldn't want to live longer than that. There kind of makes you stop and think. What is it? Are they just feel kind of stuck where they're at and just want to just write it out and get it over with?
Yeah, well, it says here in the report that by a margin of 16%, 55 to 39% of the people believe in an afterlife, but they say they wouldn't want treatments to extend their life to 120. I think you're right. It has to be with the quality of life that they're just concerned. I mean, I wouldn't want to live to be 120 if I'm miserable the whole time.
Yeah, I think that's why we're on the radio here too, to help educate about how to have too much fun right now.
Yeah, and one of the ways, we're going to be talking to Bruce Perlowin, the CEO of Hemp Inc., I mentioned at the bottom of the hour, but more and more people, nearly 250,000 families are now living what they call off the grid.
Love it.
And for those of you that aren't familiar with that means you unplug from society, you go off the grid, you use solar panels, you grow your own food, and you are not dependent on any lines coming to your house or electricity. And it's going up and up and up. They're saying that a lot of the trend has to do with the fact that you don't need 40 acres and a mule anymore. You can go off the grid on as little as a half acre, one of the examples I looked at, where he was wired up. And now they have new terms, Greg. I remember when going off the grid was just, you're either off the grid or you're not. Now you can be deep off the grid or a little bit off the grid. So if you still got your laptop and you're plugging it in, you're not off the grid, right?
You can be off the grid in Las Vegas.
So what used to just be off the grid is now called deep off the grid. That means you really went off the grid. You're not just pretending. So I thought that was really interesting, especially with this 4,000 acres that's being developed out in Dolan Springs outside of Las Vegas that we're going to hear about. I thought that was an interesting piece of news. And we're on this show, we're always bringing you some of the latest information on food and health and lifestyle. And one of the things that caught my eye here in the news this week was a report that was done on what people think about some of the terms that are used when you go purchase food, when you see those labels that say all natural. Now, I don't know how I see a kid's sugar pop with all natural flavors. I never, it baffled me. How could this be all natural? You look at this packaging and you can just tell that there's all these things you don't recognize. Well, this report brought up some of the top 5 things that don't mean anything. Natural is one of them. A natural or all natural product, you would think, implies that all the ingredients are plucked right out of nature, right? No, the FDA only regulates the word natural in the meat and poultry industry. So if it's anything other than meat or poultry, you can use the word natural. I could sell you a rock or something full of pesticides, anything I want. If it's meat or poultry, but that's the only thing the law applies to. There are no laws on local. You can put local on anything. They could say that it could be grown in China, but if they shipped it from you here locally, they can say it's local and they aren't breaking any laws. Free range doesn't mean anything. only when it comes to a chicken. It says the USD is only concerned about certifiable free range food items that are poultry and eggs. So you can call anything else free range, poultry and eggs. So a cow, if they say he's free range, that doesn't mean anything. That just means they've decided he's free range, and if he's not, there's nothing they can do about it because there's no laws around it. I thought this was interesting because one of our first guests is Marilyn Yamamoto, who's really doing some amazing things. And this is what this article was pointing out. If you really want to get your food and your supplements or nutrition or even your investments from people, you want to do it with people that are local. You want to do it with people you know, that you can look them in the eyes. And you want to know where this food was grown. What we're about to hear about after this next break from the Country Trails Farm is what more and more communities are doing. They're getting together and they're starting community gardens, and then they're sharing in that abundance of food when it's harvested. And Happy Trails is actually getting ready to let people sign up to get delivered boxes.
Cowboy Trails,
of the boxes of food each month.
That's awesome.
So I'm real excited to be hearing about that. So when we come back, we're going to be talking to her. Plus, we have Bruce Perlowin, the CEO of Hemp Inc. He'll be with us as well, sharing about amazing things happening at that company, publicly traded as well. And Mark Jackson, the one of the three amigos.
Yeah,
I tell you, that was the heyday, man. And we'll be right back after this break. Thanks for joining us. Song we were looking at. It's actually Cowboy Trails Farm, but going into the break, I was getting ready to cue that up, and I had Happy Trails on my mind. But
bring some memories back.
Marilyn Yamamoto is the founder and runs local the Cowboy Trails Farm here in Las Vegas. They're her website, organicedibles.org. You want to make sure you check that out. I was just blown away. They're teaching kids. They're feeding the community, and more importantly, you can get organic food delivered right to you. From anywhere that you are. And Greg, I know you were real excited when you found her. Thank you, Marilyn, so much for joining us today. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Well, maybe you can tell us a little bit about Cowboy Trails Farm and how it got started and what your mission is today.
Well, the great thing is I did start it only 2 years ago. We're on our third year now. And boy, are we growing a lot of food for the community and helping, families in need as well. So it's all been going well. And believe it or not, everything does grow here.
Wow. And what are some of the projects? I was on your website, and I know you're having classes, you're feeding people in need, you've got boxes. People, can you share some of the activities that are happening out there?
Yeah, the great thing is we have a lot of different groups. We just had one maybe about a month ago with the foster kids. They came out. We had little projects and games that they played, took a little tour, and I couldn't believe how much they already knew about, homegrown food. It was amazing. Usually when you hear these kids, you ask them where their food comes from, and they just say the store. But a lot of these kids are already learning, which is great. I'm really enjoying to see and hear that. And then we had a chef that came out at the same time, and believe it or not, she made collard green wraps. And I thought, oh God, these kids are going to say, what is this? But they all tried it and they loved it and they asked for seconds. So that's a good sign too.
Well, when these kids learn for the first time where their food really comes, I mean, some of them never see anything but the asphalt on their way to school and back.
Exactly.
What kind of impact do you think it has on them, or what impact do you hope it has on them when you show them the connection?
I think it has a great impact. I mean, they can even come out. We have a Kids Grow 2, what we call a Kids Grow 2 plot. They can come out and plant some seeds, watch it grow.
Wow.
When it's ready to harvest, they come and harvest and actually eat what they had grown, so they really get a good feel of where their food comes from. So, that's always a good thing, too. Some of the other projects that we've done is that I've been asked to go out to various schools in the valley here and help them with their gardens or actually start gardens. So a lot of the schools are really converting some open areas to grow food. And let me tell you, I mean, I can't believe how much the kids love it. So we need to do more of that and get every school to have a school garden.
Wow, that is awesome. That is
awesome. Yeah.
Now tell me about these CSA boxes that people can sign up for around town. I know right now, I believe, is the sign-up period if you want to get your fall boxes. Maybe you could share with people what those are and how they might go about getting them.
Yes. The great thing about the CSA boxes, actually that stands for Community Supported Agriculture, and actually that's what it means. It actually supports our farm, our agriculture that we're growing at our farm, and that helps us to buy more seeds and maintain the farm. And what it is that every season, and right now we'll be going into our fall, and we're finishing up our summer. Our spring and summer baskets are 12 weeks long, and the fall that's coming up and starting September 6th is 8 weeks long. And what it is you can buy what we call a share, and you can get a basket every week for 12 weeks or every other week. If you don't eat as much veggies or you're a single person, you can get every other week a basket. We also have several different locations, drop-off locations, where they can pick up if it's a little bit far for them to come out to our farm, which is in the northwest part of town, off of the 215 between Decatur and Jones. And they'll get a basket of fresh veggies. We harvest the day before or the morning of, and they get anywhere from greens to all the different vegetables that are available during the season. And we only grow what vegetables can be grown during each season. So the fall that's coming up, we'll have a lot of root vegetables. We'll still have a lot of greens. We'll have salad greens, lettuces, kale, collard greens, and then, of course, the squashes will still go on for a little bit. We'll still have some tomatoes, and then, again, all the root vegetables, the carrots, the turnips, the radishes, and all fresh from the farm.
Marilyn, is this what we would see in some of the baskets for the fall selection?
Absolutely. And we do try to change it up every season. We do have over 100 fruit trees in 2 farms that we have, as well as fresh eggs. We have a lot of vegetarians, so we don't really add the eggs. We have a lot of vegetarians and vegans, so that's on request if they do want to add eggs.
Okay, and if I remember, you've got a master gardener and preserver. What is that?
Certification.
Yeah, and so you're doing classes on. Let's see. How
to grow in the desert.
Yeah, let's see where.
Wow, I would think
canning. Canning and dehydrating, classes. Solar cooking.
Yes, a lot of fun events that we do have at our farm, and if they're interested in seeing the posts, they can go to our meetup site. From our site, there is a meetup little icon. They can click on that and join us, and they'll get all the posts of all the different events that we have.
There's about 600 people in that group too.
Yes.
Now, are the meetup events at the farm, or do you have them around town, or what kind of events do you have?
Most of our events are directly at our farm, which makes it fun.
Oh, wow.
We are also having a chef-to-table event at our farm in October. So that's a fun event. We do have periodically have a variety of different chefs come out and kind of demo some of the vegetables that are grown in our gardens. Because a lot of people in their baskets, by the way, they do get vegetables and greens that they've never seen or heard about, and so that they can try new recipes by coming in and watching the chef do some demos, or I try to add a recipe of that particular green or what have you, and so that they can try different things as well.
You know, being new here in Las Vegas, I didn't have a green thumb before I got to Vegas, and I'm thinking it's going to be really not a green thumb now. What are some of the things you might tell people that are sitting here thinking, can I really start a garden living in the desert?
Absolutely. I mean, no doubt it's a challenge here in this desert. You know, everywhere, obviously, there's a shortage of water. But if you irrigate properly and watch your plants, everything can be actually grown here. We've got all different types of vegetables growing. I would tell a family to start small and then take it from there. You know, we always encourage families to come out and try their hand at growing. Start with some greens. Start with some herbs. Herbs are really hardy in the desert. They don't mind this hot sun, the dryness, and what have you. Start with some healthy soil is a key. If you start with healthy soil, you'll have healthy plants.
Yeah, I remember, Marilyn, we were talking about the importance of just starting to grow our own food there, like even if it's some herbs on the kitchen counter or a few some tomatoes on a small apartment patio there, or if we have a house where we've got a backyard where we can get a raised bed garden going or something. Or, you know, I'm just getting a garden going here in Las Vegas, and the fall season is coming on. I know one of the main things is the soil there. Where can those who want to get a garden started now get some good soil?
Actually, the garden centers such as Star and Moon and Plant World, they have some nice bags of soil now, so that's one place that you can start. And then amend as you go, and what that means is amend with some compost, start a compost pile, and get your own what we call black gold going, and really, you know, nutritious soil going, and all your plants will be happy. Okay. And you will mix in a little bit of the, you know, native soil, but you've got to really start with some new soil. There is no minerals, no nutrition in our soil, so you've really got to start with new.
Well, that is awesome. And, you know, Marilyn, we're looking forward. You're going to be seeing Greg and I. We're some of those vegan supporters of yours.
Yes.
So we're going to be coming to some of your events. And I loved looking at your website, organicedibles.org. And we're definitely signing up for our basket here to get each week. I'm really excited.
Yes, and people can sign up now. And we would love to have, you know, everybody join us and enjoy some fresh veggies. You know, it's a great thing, and we love, you know, bringing great, healthy vegetables to the community.
That is, thank you for all you do, and thank you for all those children that you're teaching well.
Thank you. We can continue to do more.
And thank you to all of you listening to the Bodhi Lotus Show on KDWN 720 AM Las Vegas. Boy, I got to remember we moved. We'll be back with the CEO of Hemp Inc., Bruce Perlowin, right after this break.
Sunny weather, happy trails to you till we meet again.
Hey, I'm Jake T. Austin. The end of summer is a tough time for kids, but you know what's even tougher? Going back to school without pencils and notebooks and backpacks like millions of kids do. So I'm joining Staples for Students and Boys and Girls Clubs of America to make sure every kid starts the year off right with the tools to succeed in school and build a great future. Join me and donate at your local Staples store from June 30th to September 28th. Find out more at staplesforstudents.org.
Well, the pioneers covered up the wagon trains with the canvas made of hemp. And Washington and Jefferson grew it on their farms and said to make the most of it. The first stars and stripes were sewn on hemp, first Constitution too. It's around the world for food, fiber, oil, medicine, and fuel. But if we press its seeds, we won't have no need for any other oil. We can make paints and inks, run our car, we'll go back next season. It'll fix
The Bodhi
us
Lotus
all.
Show on KDWN, Las Vegas, Nevada. Chris Tinney here. My beautiful wife, Taisha, is in California, and I'm flying solo with my wingman here, the Yogi Zen Dude, live on the phone with us. We're excited. We just got done talking to Marilyn Yamamoto of Cowboy Trail Farms. What an exciting conversation, Greg. She's
great.
all the things she's doing with the kids out there, her nonprofit. And now we're on the phone with another local Las Vegas business, Hemp Inc., the first hemp publicly traded company that you can invest in. I'll tell you, if there's one thing that I think Thomas Jefferson was right, hemp is imperative for the security and safety of our country, and people are discovering that. And companies like Hemp Inc., I saw they had a major move on their stock just the other day. And I called up Bruce and said, hey, can you get on the phone? Bruce Perlowin, are you there?
Yes, I am, Chris. Thank you for having me.
Well, you know what? Thank you for being on. We've got about 3 minutes before our break, but I wanted to give people a little flavor of what we're going to be talking about right after the break when they get caught up on the news. Bruce, can you just share with us a little bit about Hemp Inc., the company that you founded, and what its mission is here?
Well, the mission of Hemp Inc. is really to bring as many hemp products in all the sectors that you can make products with industrial hemp. Everything from our nutraceutical line, which our hemp protein is a bunch of proteins put together. 50% of that is hemp. It's hemp, AFA, spirulina, rhodioseria, and cordyceps. So it's off the charts. We have the hemp 7-hour energy. We have hemp male and female enhancement with the hemp extract in it. So we have an entire nutraceutical line. On the other end, we have a cosmetic line coming out. So there we have the cosmetics and show how powerful and amazing hemp oil is and hemp as a cosmetic. Then the hemp textiles, we have hemp hats, hemp shirts, hemp socks we're coming out with. I mean, Adidas right now makes hemp sneakers. So we won't be making sneakers, but we'll be making all the apparel with hemp. We're also on our Kins Domain community, we're using the building materials, paramagnetic hemp cement, hemp cream, and Adobe hemp. So that's building materials.
Hey, you let me play with your hemp brick maker. That was fun. I just put the dirt in there and put the hemp in there, and it's spitting out bricks on the other side. You're going to build a whole, what do you call that out there? New Las Vegas you're building out there?
Yeah, we've got 4,500 acres and looking at another 4,000. So the total will be about 8,500 acres. And we're building 1 square mile, what we call Vaj 2 compliant villages. And that's, Vaj 2 is like feng shui. Feng shui grew out of Vaj 2. And that's where we're going to manufacture not all, but a lot of our hemp products. Right now we showcase in the first series of videos that we have on kinsdomain.us how to make hemp gemstone candles. Next will be hemp soap. Next will be hemp jewelry. Next will be hemp hammocks. All the hemp products. I mean, one Kins Domain group wants to actually make our hemp cargo pants.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Bruce, we are going to take a break. I wanted people to get a flavor of the next 15 minutes of the show. You don't want to miss it. Bruce Perlowin, the CEO of Hemp Inc., is going to share with us what's happening. You can go to hemp.com to learn more about their company. Kinsdomain.us is the intentional community and the Kins domains he's building. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about a new way that people that live off the grid or on intentional communities can support themselves through the Eco Harmony Co-op right after this break.
Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Preacher man, don't tell me heaven is under the earth. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your
Welcome back to the Bodhi Lotus radio show on KDWN, Las Vegas, Nevada. Chris Tinney here with my sidekick and wingman, the Yogi Zen Dude, broadcasting live from our new digs here at KDWN off the Tan Talk Radio Network in Florida. Big shout out to all our friends that used to follow us there. Now you can follow us either here online or on our website, bodhilotus.org. That's BODHI, like the Bodhi tree. Lotus, Lotus, like the lotus flower, bodhilotus.org. And we have links there to everything from the show, from Marilyn Yamamoto, who was on, and links to the Cowboy Farms. We have links to Hemp Inc., Kins Domains we're about ready to talk about. Lots of videos even out there with Bruce at the Kins Domains. And Bruce, I'll tell you, it's hard to know where to begin with you, my friend, because you are definitely doing so much in the world.
Bruce rocks.
Let me just start for people that don't understand hemp. Hemp is not pot. You'll get a headache if you smoke hemp. You're not going to get high. It's used for over 30,000 consumer goods can be made from hemp. The colonists were required to grow hemp. The first people sailed over here with hemp sails to found our country. The United States is now the #1 importer of hemp, and yet we do not allow our own farmers to grow it. So we're buying hemp from other countries, from other farmers that are putting our money in their pocket and then putting that hemp on a boat and hurting the environment to ship it here to the United States. So if there's one person who's passionate about legalizing industrial hemp, it's myself. And Bruce, I noticed there's been a big shift in hemp. Can you tell me a little bit about what do you think's caused this big change in the way that people feel? Are they finally understanding that Hearst and DuPont paid a lot of money to confuse them about hemp? What do you think's happening?
Well, the big confusion is that people confuse, they don't know the difference between medical marijuana or marijuana and hemp. They think it's the same thing. And there's something, don't quote me on the exact numbers, there's something like 30,000 Google searches for hemp every month, but there's 600,000 what is hemp and 600,000 for what's the difference between hemp and marijuana. So I think the big shift is because people are getting educated. There's only so many 600,000 people every month getting educated before the masses learn that industrial hemp is off the chart. I mean, look what happened on the 4th of July. The flag overflying on the 4th of July, the White House, was made of hemp. So even the government supports hemp. In Kentucky, they passed it unanimously to legalize hemp in either the House or the Senate, I forget which one, and it made it into the Farm Bill, but then the Farm Bill never got passed. So industrial hemp, people are not as confused as they were. It's mostly education is what's going on.
Well, and I think that's why it's such a great time for people to figure out how they're going to profit from hemp, because you can make a difference and at the same time as doing well. I saw that your stock moved up. I saw that right before we went on the air here, CNN had a special with Sanjay Gupta, and he was interviewing the same people that you interviewed with your company a year ago. So the rest of the mainstream media is just now catching up to what you've been trying to tell them for a long time here.
Yeah, and that's the way it always starts. Movements, and this is not, everyone says this is a great industry. It's one of the fastest growing industries in America today. We sold Friday somewhere around 53 million shares of stock in the open market. That was traded in our company. We didn't sell it. People were buying and selling. And that's a record. And that was spurred by this, Sanjay Gupta's trailers saying that he was wrong about medical marijuana. He reversed his position. And also that the Attorney General later this week is going to make a statement. Nobody knows if it's positive or negative about medical marijuana. But, and hemp, we don't have to take a chance. The medical marijuana is legal in 20 states. We can sell our hemp products in all 50 states. So our stock it went up 19% on Friday. And this is like the fifth spike. Anytime there's an election or a bunch of media attention in our industry, not just our stock, but the entire sector. There's over 23 publicly traded companies in the hemp or medical marijuana industry. We're the only ones that are all hemp. The others are medical marijuana or peripheral businesses that associate with that industry. And they all go through the roof. I mean, some of them grew 50% on Friday. And that's just what's the beginning of the tip of the iceberg in terms of this giant spike that's going to occur. And I can predict that on radio because I predict it in new press releases, the last 3 spikes. You're going to see across the board a huge spike. It'll last, who knows, 1 to 2 weeks. That part I don't know. I don't know how high all the stocks will go, but you can look at the last 3 spikes and it's just a natural thing. So people can make money and a lot of money investing in the hemp and medical marijuana stocks, not just ours, but any of them.
Yeah, well, and I want to ask you more about this Eco Harmony Co-op. Before I do, I want to remind our listeners, if you're listening live, you can call in 702-257-5396. We're talking to Bruce Perlowin, the CEO of Hemp Inc., dubbed the King of Pot by the feds when he was busted and with, well, I won't go, I forget how many boats you had and how much you were bringing in, but it was the number one most watched CNN special of all time. It was definitely fun, Bruce, to see what you created there. It looks to me like you've gone legal, but you're still creating massive empires.
Yeah, this time, because of that CNBC documentary, which was the most watched documentary in CNBC history, 34 million people watched the first time it aired 5 years ago, and it's been running steady ever since then. And so I become somewhat of a celebrity and very recognizable figure in the medical marijuana, and the hemp industry. So I say to myself, well, if I'm like the Elvis Presley sort of that industry, and a lot of kids, look up to me because of my notorious background, bringing in millions of pounds of marijuana. And I said, where do I lead the kids? What do I tell them? Well, back to nature, back to the farm, just like Marilyn said. So we're building intentional communities, and it's called Kins Domains. It's 2.5 acres. You ring your land with a living fence. You have an organic garden, a natural beehive, and plenty of trees. You build a family tree, a home, and you go have natural childbirth in your house. I go, wow, this is like the 60s of a template. It was popularized by a series of books called The Ringing Cedars of Russia. 20 million copies sold. It's been translated to 20 languages. So that is a movement, not an industry, just like the hemp industry is really a movement. So out there we're building and showing people not just how to live off the land, but how to make money by making our hemp products. We're sort of like, I call it decentralizing manufacturing. And we will be off the grid. The only reason that I want to be attached to the grid is so we can sell power back to the grid. And, one of the guys we talked to about doing our solar said he did a solar installation and windmill installation in school back east. They made $120,000 selling power back to the grid. So we're building all the advanced, we're showcasing all the advanced sustainable technologies that are out and are coming out right now. And it's live streaming video in about a week. Right now you can see the whole series of videos on kinsdomain.us.
Yep, and we'll put a link on our website too, to the kinsdomain.us. Hey, Bruce, I also want to talk to you. We've got a caller on the line we're going to get to here real quick. Your friend Daniel is called in. This Eco Harmony Co-op, I was asked to do a little audio. Folks, if you go to Eco Harmony Co-op, ECO Harmony Co-op, COOP, and we'll have a link on our website. It's a new kind of online. You brought back the old days of the co-op where people would bring their goods and they would all sell them to each other, and you'd know who you're buying from. And right now, people can sign up to learn more about that. But this is a place where not only people that can bring their goods, if they want to make hemp bracelets and sell them, or they want to find local and hemp-based products, maybe you can share with us a little bit about the Eco Harmony Co-op and what you're creating there.
Well, the Eco Harmony Co-op is our way of bringing our products to the marketplace. We've been doing a lot of custom branding for other companies. And now this is our launch into the marketplace. And what it is, it's all hemp and other renewable and sustainable products. So we'll actually be selling geodesic domes. We'll be selling windmills. We'll be selling vertical lettuce grows that we're going to be showcasing out there that grow 120 organically grown hydroponic lettuce and wraps them per day. Wow. It's a big, giant, it's a new modern growing technologies that we're showcasing. And anybody who has products that are organic and natural, and I mean really natural, will run it to ground, not just put the words there.
Right. You heard the newscast.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And most of them will be local, but not all of them. And we'll sell them. And this is a real co-op. What we're trying to do is get all the cultural creatives, which number 200 million worldwide, to sell and buy among ourselves. And we really will have a rebate. 5% goes into a pool, and anyone who gets an auto ship, that's all they do is get an auto ship. They don't have to refer anyone, just go to an auto ship with our products, and which are plenty of awesome products. They share in that pool. And, there's over $10,000 in that pool right now because we're just launching it. We had a couple pretty big sales before we launched the Eco Harmony Co-op. So it's a place where the cultural creatives, the people that want only the pure, organic, healthy foods and sustainable products that weren't made with child slave labor or chemicals or formaldehyde gas and all that junk that we grew up despising through the 60s, we're pretty much purists in all the building technologies, to the foods, to the cosmetics that we have.
Hey, Bruce, I want to get to
EcoHarmony.
I want to get to this caller here. I just realized who this is on the phone. Daniel Brinkley lives here in Las Vegas. People might know who he is, the author of Saved by the Light, the 36th most selling author on the planet. Has his new book, Lessons from the Light, and then 10 Things You Need to Know Before You Go. Daniel Brinkley, are you on the line?
Hey, Daniel.
I am.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Once again, Chris, I'm not as tired as I was last week, but I got back in from Los Angeles to the Twilight Brigade. And it's just nice to listen to your show, and it's nice to listen to Marilyn. It's nice to listen to Bruce. And people going back to that natural place to create friendships and partnerships. And so I wanted to call in and thank both Marilyn and Bruce. And the product that they have called Bliss, this is a product that I got it from, Bruce and you, Chris. And I've been trying it now for like 6 weeks. And it's better than any energy drink. And it doesn't have a crash. Because when you're driving back and forth and you're at the bedside of people in hospice, you need to stay focused. And so this product is all natural, and it comes from, I think it's a part of the Eco Co-op, but it's a part of the hemp.com program, Bruce. I don't know which.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's one of the ones I was involved with. I love that product, Daniel, and it's going to be at the ecoharmonycoop.com. And if people sign up there in the next 48 hours, we'll be launching that whole website with that product and others as well. But you're right. There's only 11 herbs on the planet that are what's called adaptogens, which means they go to work where your particular body needs them to. And that product is one of them. And Daniel, I really appreciate what you're doing in the world. A lot of people on the phone know you as this famous author and speaker and all the things that you do, but they don't know that you've been at the bedside of dying veterans through your nonprofit that you founded, the Twilight Brigade. And
that's how I came. But that's how I came to know Bruce. Bruce long years ago, came and we met and we laughed and we got involved in him helping me with phone cards so that vets could call home. And a lot of times there were conversations that Bruce facilitated through his cards that people were able to make the calls to seek forgiveness or to say goodbye or talk to children. And so I got interested in what Bruce was doing and looking at what he was doing. And then when he created this company, he came back and he donated stock in hemp.com and Hemp Inc. to the Twilight Brigade. And so I wanted to be supportive and congratulatory and helpful. But I'd like to also know this. I'm the Twilight Brigade, and we have a new flagship hospital here. And this thing that Marilyn is doing with these packages that you buy, I'm definitely into that. And looking at the hemp products and the industrialized nature of what we could do as a business. Like what you said earlier, the number one importer of a weed that we are not allowed to grow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's absolutely stupid. And when we get that way, when we could put farmers and small family farmers and veterans to work growing a product that can be used from everything in the possible world, especially paper, which is my big gig, I'd rather keep trees growing. I'd rather keep trees growing so the air stays rich and pure than have paper when it could be made out of a weed called hemp. And I'd like to tell Bruce this. Bruce, all those delicate peaches and plums and apples that I got from you, from your organic farm. We made pies and cakes. I ate most of the plums. The almonds were absolutely unbelievable. I didn't get any of those yellow figs, so I was really pissed off.
Those were good.
But I got the other figs, and I want to tell you, thank you for what you're doing, and thank Marilyn for what they're doing. And Chris, thanks for having this show. Now, I have one report, and then I have to go, but
sure.
To tell Tasha that 3 daughters, Elizabeth, Angel, and Brittany, have all taken in foster babies. Remember last week we were talking about taking foster pets, mothers who are having babies, and if they had these babies and they didn't have a place to place them, they were going to destroy the puppies. Right. And so now Elizabeth, Angel, and Brittany have taken in mothers and their children and their babies, and they're feeding them and taking care of them. So one more thing about taking care of the pets and the animals here, and that's something I'm really proud. I love the Twilight Brigade, but I love the girls' initiatives in stepping up where it matters. So I wanted to make sure that I passed that along.
Well,
Kat told me, so I'm telling everybody. It's nice to be local, and it's nice to be a part of a community that's Las Vegas, and it's nice to be a part of it, bringing back the spiritual values of caring and the kind of food we eat and the lifestyles that Marilyn and Bruce are creating, and you and Greg creating the opportunity to give us all a voice.
Well, thank you, Daniel. And you tell the Brinkley clan that we appreciate all they're doing in the world. The world could use a lot more people like you and your family.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
And Bruce?
Yes.
Remember, I love you and appreciate you very much.
Well, Daniel, I don't have a lot of heroes in the world, but you're one of them for the work you're doing in so many different areas.
Group hug.
Group hug.
Okay, well, don't eat all those figs before I see you on Tuesday.
Thank you, Daniel, for joining us. Bruce, we got about 2 minutes before we go to the top of the break. Daniel mentioned something there that I don't want to be lost on people. And matter of fact, the show we did with you that was a full hour, over, I think, 250,000 people have now listened to that on the air. And so that was amazing. I feel remiss, but you did something different. You actually donated a lot of stock to places like Twilight Brigade, to my nonprofit, Spread Peace USA, and Patch Adams, who's building hospital. What was your philosophy? And now your stocks, we're all loving you because that Friday jump, that's directly money in our pockets as nonprofits. What was your philosophy in giving away this stock before you had built it up to a big company?
Well, I think they do everything perfectly in this world, perfectly backwards. So rather than wait until we become a billion-dollar company like Gates and Carnegie and give away to nonprofits, I decided to give it away in the process of becoming a billion-dollar company. Give it away in the beginning. And you're not allowed to give away company stock, so I gave away my personal stock. And to the organizations I support, I absolutely love what Daniel Brinkley is doing. And Keepers of the Wild, building the largest animal sanctuary out there on our 4,000 acres. And Can Do Kids and Patch Adams building a $50 million free hospitals. And, or the Sikhs that are building their Golden Temple of the West, the Temple of Steel out in Espanola, New Mexico. And the horse rescue people out in Dolan Springs. And Spread Peace USA, feeding the homeless. I donate a lot of stock because that's what I'm all about. I want to help change the world, and it's a lot easier to help fund the people that are going to change the world, in my case, doing it through stock, than trying to do it all myself, okay? I can't do it all myself, but I certainly can fund every way and any way I can those people that deserve it and that are helping to change the world. So that's my philosophy. It's giving back, operating from the heart, and that's just part of what I do and who I am.
Well, thank you, Bruce. And we're getting ready to move on to our next segment here. It is awesome having you on the show. We're going to put links to the ecoharmonycoop.com on our Bodhi Lotus website, kinsdomains.us. You can see all the videos. And Bruce, thank you for everything you're doing in the world and all the nonprofits and the thousands and hundreds of thousands of people that have been touched because of that.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for having me.
That was Bruce Perlowin, the CEO of Hemp Inc. You're listening to the Bodhi Lotus radio show on KDWN, Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, you gotta like money. Welcome back to the Bodhi Lotus radio show. Chris Tinney here with the Yogi Zen Dude. My beautiful wife, Taisha Tinney, off in California, visiting my mom, so that's a good thing. Hi, Mom.
I like what Cody says about money. He says it's kind of like air.
What, kind of like air?
Yeah, you can't live without it.
Well, folks, a lot of people that are out there doing good in the world are kind of struggling, trying to figure out how to fund what they want to do. The kind of a common theme in this show was, being able to get out there and get in the dirt and volunteer and make a difference. I think that's, if you want to get things in life, I think you got to go give things in life. And so get your butt out there to the cowboy farm. And then we talked to Bruce Perlowin of Hemp Inc. and talked about, living out on the Kins domains and off the grid and what his company's doing and his stock that's gone up a lot. Also here local in Las Vegas is a new group of people that are getting together, and it caught my eye.
Love this.
Because if you watch that ESPN clip, you'll see that one with Mark Jackson playing for the San Francisco 49ers. catching the ball right, to push the game into overtime for the AFC Championship, and he was one of the three amigos with Vance Johnson and Ricky Natal, and I was man, cool dude too, man. He's just cool. He just walks in the room, you're
Real
like,
good
whoa, whoa. But he's getting together with some people out here, and they're doing some things with silver and gold, like an investment club. So as we were looking at things to do here in Las Vegas, we thought, wow, some of the conscious people we know are getting involved in this, because we all know what's happening with the economy. We all know what's happening with the dollar and inflation as the Fed continues to just keep printing money.
We need conscious people with money so we can make the changes we need here.
Yeah. So Mark Jackson, are you there?
I am, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much. You got off the plane and called us. I really appreciate it. Well, tell us, from football to gold bullion and silver bullion and coin, tell us a little bit about this group here in Vegas and what you guys are all about.
Something, I've been connecting with some really strong people here in Vegas. Actually, I play with the Denver Broncos. I wish I played with the 49ers.
Oh, I'm sorry. Man, I am just so blowing it. I'm like, I am so sorry. I keep saying the wrong call letters for the station. I keep saying the wrong city. I'm putting you on the wrong NFL team.
Hey, Chris, see, that's how spiritually right you are. We actually lost to the 49ers in the Super Bowl 55-10. It was one of the worst days of my life.
Oh! Well, this isn't positive and uplifting.
But I got over it. Because life is much more than just football, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, gosh.
Well, hey, you know what? We got about 4 minutes here before the top of the hour, a hard break. So I know silverdirectsecrets.com has got a report on how people can actually buy at spot, and you've got a group of people doing it here. Tell us a little bit about it.
Absolutely. We're actually doing some of the same things that I love Daniel and Twilight Brigade. I love Mr. Bruce Perlman and all the incredible things he does. And it's so important that we get together as a community and share great information. And that's exactly what we've been doing. We've hooked up with a company out of Texas called Preservation of Wealth. They have some incredible information on how you can buy silver and gold at spot. And she said the Federal Reserve always print more money. Since the start of that thing, the dollar has devalued over 95%. So awesome opportunity for people to connect with other good people, and more importantly, to begin to grow our wealth together. And that's something that's been fabulous for me to experience that.
Well, I appreciate it. One of the reasons I wanted to have you on is I know there's going to be a big meeting later this week. If people want to find out about that, they can go to silverdirectsecrets.com, and you'll learn a little bit about this. But it's an awesome group of people, and how do you feel about, I know I got my coin, I was excited, and you were kind of sharing with me, you feel like you're just trading people, paper money that might, be losing its value every year for gold and silver that's going up. And the thing that I really like about it is people can just get one coin a month. You don't have to have 10,000 or 5,000 or even $1,000. You can just get one coin a month. And that video on your website showed how much money I would have if I just been getting one coin a month.
That's why.
That blows me away, Mark.
Yeah, it is pretty phenomenal, the power of it. And that's what we find in our communities. And we're growing pretty well. And the whole concept, once again, is most people, the big objective or the big problem they have with saving or investing money is they never feel like they have enough. And here's an opportunity with a very small amount of money for someone to actually get involved with a club, actually begin to grow their wealth. In that video, you'll see it started in 1986. That was my rookie year in the NFL. That was the year that we had to drive, the year that we went to the Super Bowl. And if I had just collected one coin a month from 1986 to today, it'd be well over $600,000 in wealth, real money, not currency. There's a huge difference between that dollar that's devalued and the silver, gold, and bullion that we're talking about in this particular instance. And it's pretty phenomenal, the power of compounding over time.
All right. Well, thank you, Mark. We're going to have you on again. We're at the top of the hour. That's silverdirectsecrets.com. I got the report, and I got my coin. It was pretty cool. I like it. I'm having fun, too. It's like $100, man.
They're beautiful.
silverdirectsecrets.com.